All right, Drake Riggs here with Pete Murray, getting ready for the PFL 2021 Finals, the championship. Very excited for it here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Pete, first of all, before we get talking about PFL, man, what do you think of Zach Wilson Jets? I know it's rough every year, but what do you think of Zach? I know he just went out.
Long-time Jet fan. It's been tough, 4 decades, but you know what? It's character. You grow character.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about 2020, 2022.
Have you liked what you've seen from him, though? I mean, he's done all right.
He's young. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you like him on the sideline a little bit to learn and under another quarterback. But he's definitely been thrown into the deep end of the pool. Not so sure he's got all the weapons around him, and we'll see what happens on the coaching front. But I think he's a really good quarterback. He needs time.
Yeah, everybody does, right?
Yeah.
So 2021 season, of course, we're wrapping up here with the finals, as I mentioned. Just what did you think? What did you make of the season? Very fun, obviously a lot of surprises, but overall, like, how was it business-wise, the fights, in your opinion on everything?
Yeah, hey, I mean, from a business standpoint, the product was elevated, the roster, it starts with great fighters and great fights. We had that and then some. Our audience here in the U.S. and ESPN is up over 100%. We've expanded distribution around the world. The products and the PFL brands in demand. So it's been great. But, Wednesday night is all about those 12 athletes. They've all earned their way through the regular season, the playoffs. And it's a grueling season. I mean, we don't really talk about it a lot, but, 4 fights in 7 months to get through it all, to take down that belt and hold up that check. I think it's the toughest challenge in the sport today.
Yeah, definitely, man. And from a business kind of perspective, though, obviously all businesses had to deal with kind of coming back. And we were just talking about the COVID stuff kind of before going on here. But for you, what were like the biggest hurdles maybe you had to overcome for the season?
Yeah, 2020 was tough. I mean, we put a pin in it with COVID hitting us before the start of our season. We rescheduled it, but we quickly went to work on the product. Just signing new fighters, developing fighters, new technologies, our go-to-market game plan, and thankfully we got it in. We got in, without major incident on the COVID front, on the fighter front. We put it in a bubble. The PFL team did an incredible job. I mean, keeping the fighters safe, getting the product in, executing the events, and but now we're opening it up for fans on Wednesday nights. So it'll be great to have that energy back in the room.
Yeah, very exciting, and I'm sure that it helps to get through this, right? Very motivating. Be like, all right, we could do this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and hey, listen, UFC did a great job ushering sports back into in the middle of all the swirl of COVID. And then I think a lot of other sports learned a lot. We were monitoring everything and trying to take it in and apply it to what we were doing. But it's something we're going to have to continue to contend with. But it feels good that we have a normal cadence now.
Right, definitely. Yeah. And in the main event of the championship this Wednesday, Kayla Harrison again in that spot, which she's a superstar, right? But I'm curious what kind of goes into the decision behind putting her on that spotlight, because deserved, but. There's so many great fights. How do you pick out who's going to be a main event?
Well, I mean, listen, it's all in the numbers. When we look at fan interest, audience, consumer engagement, and then even the media, people interested to talk to her and follow her, and she is the most dominant fighter in the sport, men or women. And you look at her dominance, and she's going to continue to grow and make a huge impact on the sport. She's a star, but at the end of the day, she's got an opponent who has something to prove as well. And anytime that you close that cage door and that bell rings, anything can happen.
Very true. And you mentioned the opponent right there. I think Taylor Granado's story kind of is like the perfect example of what PFL can do for you. Because she's only got like 4 professional fights, right, and coming in here with this chance at $1 million. Right. Who would ever imagine that kind of thing at that few fights? Sure. So I mean, is that kind of cool for you to see like that story play out?
Of course. Hey, you look at Ray Cooper.
Yeah.
Ray's competing in the welterweight bout, the title fight, and Ray started with us. He wasn't a known quantity in the sport, and quickly people got to know his name. And you look at his fight with Magomed Kirimov. That's going to be an incredible fight. I mean, that'll be the lead-in fight to Kayla's bout.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you've spoken about it a little bit more recently. I mean, I asked you about it a couple of years ago, I think. But, cross promotion seems like something you're opening up to a bit more. So, like, what kind of changed with the idea there and being more friendly with people? What's the idea?
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, listen. I mean, at the end of the day, won't mess with the integrity of our sports season format and those athletes. But I think there's really a role for crossover fights, and given the fact that we're going to expand the number of events that we have with the season format events, with the Challenger Series events that we're going to be launching, so we'll and pay-per-view, we'll have an opportunity to bring in some crossover talent, some crossover fights. That'll be fun. Yeah.
And with that in mind, it's kind of like adding talent, innovating, right? Always big on starting, things for the first time. Lightweight division, the women, something you guys only do, right? So has there been any talk of maybe, just adding maybe more women's divisions, but specifically, the 105-pound atomweight division is one that
I love the weight class. You're right. We've had a lot of conversations about it. What you'll see us do is we may be signing fighters in different weight classes as we circle a weight class in a category to develop it over time. So you'll see us sign some athletes, men and women, in weight classes that we don't have today, and then we'll start developing the talent, developing a point of view, and then we'll be ready to expand and go to market with those new weight classes in the coming seasons.
All right, very exciting, Pete. I'll leave you with one last thing, man, and a very hard question, but out of all the great fights, which one do you feel is the most overlooked to this Wednesday?
It's hard for me. When you look at the card. I'm going to grab the card.
All the options.
Look at the lineup. You tell me. You're in this game.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Mosley, Chris Wade, that fight.
Yeah.
Now Chris Wade came with a chip on his shoulder. This year.
Yes.
And it's worked.
Been here before, but
it's worked to his advantage. It's a different weight class. He came into the season pissed off. He's got something to prove, and he's got Mosley, who's got a lot of moves. And you got to watch the flying knee. You never know where it's going to come, but I think that fight is one. Some could say it's been overlooked. That's going to be a fun fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. As they all are. So all right, Pete, we'll leave it there, man. Thanks so much for the time, and looking forward to the fights.
All right, Drake. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it. See you Wednesday.
Of course.
Oh, hey, you made it to the end. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like this video and want to see more like it, give it a like and maybe subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, we'll see you next time.